I didn't have any prior experience in figure skating. All I could do was glide forward, try to cross my feet, and this really sad half lemons. Hi everyone, my name is Aimee and I started figure skating 6 months ago at 22 years old, which is technically an adult, even though I don't feel like one. That's what a 22-year-old is called, right? There are no level exams in my country. You just train, and whenever you feel ready and you know the elements, you can compete at a certain level. So I started in December of 2023 when I found a coach that was a bit less expensive. I don't really know if my progress was fast or slow, but I went to the rink twice a week, once with my coach and once on my own. So this is my progress with about 4 hours of skating a week. Also, if you want to know exactly how and why I started figure skating, you can watch a video I've posted, which you can see right here. In the first lesson, I started with swizzles, with beginner inner and outer edge work. But unfortunately, I didn't film any of that because I was too embarrassed at how it looked, because I knew I wasn't doing them properly. But now they look quite right, as you can see. It took me about 3 months to be confident enough to really use my edges. Actually, I think I was wrong. The first thing I learned was how to sop, which I continued to learn for about 3 weeks because I just couldn't stop. I would bump into other people and it was awful. So if you want to start skating or whatever, just learn how to stop before taking your lesson. Then in the second week, I started my forward crossovers, which at the time I thought were absolutely perfect, but looking back, I was far from it. I have no video of how I started to learn backwards crossovers because I would just swiggle in one place and do absolutely nothing. But surprisingly, I prefer backwards crossovers now. And while I was filming the video you just saw before, I realized that my skates were awful. So I ended up ordering Edea overtures just 1 month into starting figure skating, which was one of the best ideas I ever had with figure skating because I just am so happy with my skates right now, even though I splurged on them a bit. Started on some easy turns and then I got to my nightmare, which are the 1-foot swizzles, which I can't do even now properly. I'm struggling a lot with them, but they are looking a lot better. They're far from where they should be, but I'm glad I managed to progress with my 1-foot swizzles. At this point, I tried my first jump, which is the waltz jump, and I was very excited. I was starting the jumps. I did progress a lot with it, but at some point I just didn't do it anymore because I focused on the other jumps. Probably after a week or two, I tried the salchow, which I just couldn't get the right timing with or the flow, and I just didn't like it at all. It felt like it was a very difficult jump, even though it's one of the easiest. I think it took me about 2 months and a half to get used to the salchow and stop popping every single jump. And I think it's going to get better and better, but it's still not one of my favorite jumps. I started to learn salchow and toe loop at the same time, but with the toe loop there's a completely different story because I liked it much more than the salchow and it just came much more naturally to me. I felt like I understood the jump and could do it from the beginning somehow. I'm pretty sure not many people feel like toe loop is one of the easier jumps, but for me it is, and it is still my favorite jump at the moment. I know that my jumps are nowhere near perfect and they are pre-rotated and I don't cross my legs properly, but it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of getting used to skating, so in time all those things will surely come. The learning curve with figure skating is much different than what I've experienced with other sports. With figure skating, I feel like some steps are just a nightmare at the beginning. You just can't do it. Like, your legs just are physically not moving the way you want them to. And after some time, it just clicks at some point and you are able to do them. And it's a bit annoying, but at the same time very rewarding once you're able to really do those steps and moves and jumps or whatever. And for me, those annoying steps were any type of twizzle-like move or shifts from one side of the edge on the other backwards, if that makes any sense, or any multiple turns. All of those were very difficult for me. I still cannot do them, and more so gracefully. Any type of grace is not here with us when it comes to twizzles. But at first my legs just couldn't rotate on the blade. It's getting better, but it will get even better with time and practice. The edge work was continuous, and I feel like the progress with specifically edge work was kind of slow. In the meantime, I also tried different elements like bunny hops, 3 turns, some other elements you are just seeing right now. I don't put a lot of focus on them because I feel like they are a break from jumping and edge work, but as you can see, my legs are nowhere near straight, and I really need to exercise and practice this type of elements as well because they are quite important when we're talking about competition. Probably a month ago or a little over a month ago, I was introduced for the first time to the loop, and then immediately after to the flip. At this point, I thought I was never going to be able to jump the loop and the flip, and I profusely hated them. With these 2 jumps, I also started my off-ice training. I did some jumps which don't really look like anything, but they really helped in the end. I tried doing them on the side for the longest time because that's the only way I could feel just the slightest bit confident to put some force into it. Even now, I am still starting with working on them on the edge, so I just get confident and remember exactly how the jump feels before trying it in the middle. I managed to do my first loop jump in the middle about 2 weeks ago. Crossing my legs isn't very easy right now. I am struggling with it. At times it does work and I manage to cross my legs and really feel like the jump looks good, but some other times it's just a bit harder. But at this moment I think I am satisfied with where I'm at with my loop jump. And for that to happen, I also trained on the spinner to be able to do the rotation properly. I think I managed to jump the flip maybe 10 or 15 times in the middle of the ring, but with no speed whatsoever. I'm still a bit afraid to fully use my arms and swing with force to be able to do a full rotation, and it just feels a bit weird for me right now. So working on the edge of the ring is the best option for me right now. Also, whenever I try to film the flip, I just pop all of them, so this is the best you can get. Now we got to the worst thing that exists in figure skating: spins. So that you fully understand how bad I am with any type of spin, before starting the loop, I was advised by my coach to try the jump without really jumping, with just a spin instead of the jump, and I just couldn't do it for the longest time. And I would just tell her, you know, I would much rather just try and jump it from the beginning than trying it with a spin or a twizzle-like spin. So that's what I did. I jumped it from the beginning. Also, with my first spins, I managed to fall very bad, which fortunately you have the video of. I got a really bad bump from that fall, and it also made me realize that I need to be a bit more careful and also a bit more patient. Also made me a bit afraid of spins. Anyway, even now, I cannot do a proper spin for the life of me. It just never happens. I am trying my 1-foot spin over and over again, and I just don't feel like it works. And I'm not gonna even talk about scratch spins because there's no such thing as scratch spins for me. I like jumps very much compared to spins, but hopefully I'll be able to do some decent spins in the near future. I'm also often training with my spinner for my spins, but the progress on ice is very, very slow. Now, I would have loved to have a quicker progress, but I'm pretty satisfied with where I'm at right now. I think my biggest milestone is being able to do an axel, because every time I hear the word axel, it just transports me back to when I was a kid watching a Disney movie about figure skating. I don't know the name of it, something with Sputnik. I remember it was a Russian coach and whatever. I'm gonna put the picture of the movie here. Figure skating was so unreachable that I remember thinking how beautiful figure skating is, but the thought of trying it myself was just out of question. I just couldn't think of it. That's how far the figure skating world was from me. I just couldn't grasp the idea that I could start figure skating one day. That comes to show you that you can do kind of whatever you want, regardless of age, time, and money in some cases. Obviously, my progress is very much correlated to the time and effort I put into this activity, and by no means should you compare your progress to mine, because comparison is the death of joy. There are so many factors that play a role in how fast you're progressing, like stress level, training time, financial situation, your coach, other commitments, health, motivation, how far the rink is from your house, and even the quality of your skates and the rink. So comparison is literally useless or even damaging, because the only person you should compare yourself to is yourself from yesterday or the week before. So please don't compare your progress to anyone. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe so I know you did, and start making more content on this topic. Hope you have a wonderful day.